Today, we're talking about prog. Most people don't know this because I don't talk about it a lot. I am probably the foremost expert in the entire VC on progressive rock. I don't talk about it a lot because, Canadian music is kind of my thing. So I don't share my passion for prog rock because I don't want to overshadow those other channels that kind of specialize in that. But I'm going to bust out the big guns today for my friend Alex from Beer and Vinyl. We're talking prog rock. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to Northern Revolutions. I'm Rob. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new. As I mentioned off the top, we're talking prog today. Ton of vinyl tags going around the vinyl community in the last month. I did Rob Walker's vinyl tag. I did the Beatles tag that Rachel started. I did Sam's Americana tag. So now I got to do Beer and Vinyl's prog tag. Alex is a good buddy of mine, so of course I want to support his tag and support his channel. I will leave a link in the description to Alex's channel. Please check him out. One of the most fun people I know in the VC, and he's got a lot of great records to show. So Alex has come up with 20 questions about prog, which is kind of his thing. Not as much as it is my thing, however. But I'm going to do my best to answer his questions. Not that that's very hard. So let's get into it. For those that might be unfamiliar, what's prog? Obviously short for progressive rock. Kind of a genre that I think really kind of started in the UK in the late 60s, early 70s. I mean, what really makes a prog song is kind of innovation. It's music that's kind of moved the boundaries to places that it hasn't gone before. And I think really the hallmarks of a good prog song, I mean, first of all, you've got to have 17 different time signature changes throughout the course of a song. It's got to be in at least 4 different keys. There has to be, songs that are no shorter than 17 minutes. Orchestras and choirs are absolutely mandatory. You got to talk about dragons. I mean, in a nutshell, those are the sort of the key fingerprints of prog. So I'm going to dive real deep into my prog collection and pull out some gems that I think Alex will appreciate. Okay, Alex's first question, number 1, show a debut prog record. So I'm going to show this masterpiece, Cocky by Kid Rock. I mean, technically it's his 5th album, but I like to call it a debut because, I mean, he really had almost a spiritual reawakening on this album. I mean, he had done some shitty rap stuff before this, but it's almost like he had an epiphany, or like I said, a spiritual awakening, and created this absolute prog masterpiece. I mean, the boundaries that he pushed with this album are light years ahead of anything he had done, and certainly anything that his contemporaries had done. So I think because this is so revolutionary, I have to call it a debut album. Number 2, show a prog artist that you got into in 2023 or recently. I'm going to show this. This is Cocky by Kid Rock. I don't know exactly when I got into him, but his music feels so fresh and alive and vibrant that it feels like yesterday that I got into this guy. Number 3, Golden Jubilee. Show an album that's 50 years old this year. I don't have any prog albums that are 50 years old this year, so I'm going to show something similar. This is Cocky by Kid Rock. Number 4, show your favorite live prog album. Most folks don't know this, but Cocky by Kid Rock has an entire second disc, which was him performing the album in its entirety at the Nippon Budokan in Japan, which famously, the first concert ever played there was the Beatles, believe it or not. But he performed this album with a full orchestra and a full bagpipe section, and it's just like a religious experience. Number 5, show a non-UK prog band. Gotta represent Detroit, Michigan. Number 6, show a proto-prog album. So, Alex is looking for an album that predates In the Court of the Crimson King, which is generally considered, the first prog album. And I'm going to have to go with this. This is Cocky by Kid Rock. Now, let me explain. This was recorded after, but it was so revolutionary that, the guys from King Crimson and many of those other prog bands from the time, when they heard this album, they said, this is so good that I heard it 30 years ago and it inspired me to make my music. So I'm going to call this proto-prog. Number 7, show an epic. So, one of those big, long, 10 or 15 minute songs. Oh, this one has one right off the bat. The first song, Trucker Anthem, is, I think it's like 21 and a half minutes. There's a very long, like 9-minute interlude in the middle with just these really cool distorted guitars and these Gregorian monks chanting. It's blew my mind. Number 8, show a proggy song from a non-proggy artist. I mean, I gotta go with Picture, Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow. Alex, you know why? Number 9, show an underappreciated prog artist or prog album. I have to go with Kid Rock's Cocky. Kid Rock, really has a cult following in the prog community. I think generally he is regarded by prog artists as the innovator, the pioneer, kind of the Elvis of the genre, the one that made it all click. I don't know that he's received as much mainstream appreciation as he probably should, but by those regarded as the popular prog artists, they all point back to this guy. Number 10, show an album featuring your favorite prog vocalist. Well, on this incredible album, Cocky by Kid Rock, there's a bonus track on here called WCSR, featuring, probably one of the greatest prog voices of the last 20 years, Snoop Dogg. Number 11, Is It Prog? Show an album you'd describe as art rock. I had to dig a little deeper for this one. I had to give it a lot of thought. But, this album really, to me, just paints these sonic pictures. Like, I feel like I'm immersed in the writer's imagination when he was composing these audio voyages. And that's Cocky by Kid Rock. Number 12, show a solo album by a member of a prog band. Most folks don't know this, but Kid Rock, before he became the solo prog legend that he is, was part of an underground prog band called the Twisted Trucker Band. Did gain a lot of notoriety, but that's really where he earned his chops as a songwriter and as a composer, I guess you could say. Number 13, Jack of all trades, master of all. Show an artist that bends the genres. And I think this is probably the one that would pop into my mind instantly, and that's Kid Rock. Rapper, rocker, country guy, southern rock, prog virtuoso. The man does everything. And not to mention guitar virtuoso. Number 14, the 80s call. Show an album from the 80s. So I got to bend the rules a little bit on this one because I don't know that I've got any prog albums from the 80s. But I'm going to show this. This is Kid Rock's Cocky. It was released in 2001, but he started working on this in 1987. It took that long to create, you know, the sonic masterpieces that make up this album. Number 15, Not Dead Yet, show a late career album. I'm going to go with Kid Rock's Cocky. This man's a legend. He's never going to die. Number 16, An Artist You Miss. Well, that's a tough one. There's a lot, but I think I would probably have to go with Kid Rock. I mean, he's still with us, but I miss him in this, you know, in the manner that we haven't had a new album since Bad Reputation in 2022, and it's long overdue. Number 17, Prog Goes Pop, show an album that has sort of some mainstream pop songs. And there are a couple on this particular album. The first one is I'm a Dog, and then there's another one called Drunk in the Morning. Great radio-friendly, very accessible prog songs. Number 18, show a prog album cover you love. I love the idea of album covers. I mean, they're visual works of art to go along with the audio works of art. And I think this is one of my favorites. This is Cocky by Kid Rock. I mean, it's striking, vibrant colors, great composition, and who doesn't love a wife beater and a mullet? This is, I mean, this is up there with the greats, like the White Album and Sgt. Pepper. I mean, what a beautiful album cover. Number 19, show an album that you'd recommend to a non-prog fan. I think this is a pretty accessible one. I mean, there is a couple monster-long songs in here, but I think this is a really good place to start. This is Kid Rock's Cocky. I think it has all of the elements that make fantastic progs. The choirs, the chanting monks, the distorted guitars, the abundance of minor diminished seventh chords, harpsichords, all of those hallmarks, but it's packaged in a way that is digestible. I mean, if you can get past the big monster album on here, or the big monster song, I should say, Trucker Anthem, the rest of it, I think, is very easy to dive into if you're new to prog. Number 20, your favorite prog album of all time. No brainer. I don't know if I've ever shown this album before on my channel, but this is an album that just resonated with me from the first minute that I heard it, and that's Cocky by Kid Rock. There you go, folks. That is my progressive rock tag for my good friend Alex at Beer and Vinyl. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. I hope that it inspires you to maybe dig into some of the selections that I've shown, or start a prog exploration of your own. I think it's it's not music that's for everybody. It's pretty sophisticated stuff, but definitely worth the exploration. So that's everything for me today, everybody. Please check out Alex's video. I'll leave a link in the description. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the flip side.